Okay, so I don't know about you, but I feel like everybody's craving a little bit of whimsy and escapism at the moment. Like, the real world and real life is a lot and it's draining. And when it comes to my reading, I feel like I'm reaching for books that are a little bit less intensely, like, emotionally heavy recently, and just stories that can take me to another world or a different place for a while. Books that feel cozy in like a magical, comforting sort of way, maybe a little bit surreal, and can just sort of pull you out of the real world for a while. So today I wanted to talk about 5 books that I find deeply whimsical. They are full of whimsy and magic, and not only that, but they are also beautifully written. These are some of my favourite books of all time. I'm very excited to share them with you. When I think of the word whimsy, this is the book that immediately comes to mind. I feel like this is the whimsical book of all time. And it is, of course, The Night Circus. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have heard me raving about this book many, many times since I read it. I can't actually remember when I read it. I think it was maybe 2023, so around 3 years ago. And I'm very much due a reread because I just remember absolutely adoring this, and it gave me such a massive book hangover after I finished it. So this book is about a travelling circus that only appears at night time. We have breathtaking performances from magicians in black and white striped tents. And then our 2 protagonists in this book are 2 magicians named Celia and Marco. As children, Celia and Marco were chosen to take part in this mysterious competition. So as the story progresses, you learn more about the competition and what it is and the impacts that it has not only on Celia and Marco but also on everybody within the circus itself. This is one that I had recommended to me so many times by so many different people because it's one of those books, you either absolutely adore it and it's one of your favourite books of all time, or it's just not really for you. And that is mostly because it has a very non-linear plot structure. People say like no plot, just vibes. The reason why I love it so much is because it feels like a place that I've been to. The descriptions are so evocative of the food, the place, the circus, the people and the costumes. The aesthetic of the place is so vividly described, and her writing is just so gorgeous and sumptuous and beautiful that you come away from reading this book feeling like you miss the place and you want to go back there, and it feels like a real place that you've actually experienced and been to. And it's just unlike anything else I've ever read before. I've never experienced writing that has transported me in quite the same way as this one did. So if you're after a more plot-driven story, then this book isn't really for you. But then also I would probably say that about most of the books in this list. I wouldn't say that plot-driven books are usually particularly whimsical. The point of whimsy is that it's supposed to be quite dreamlike and sometimes quite surreal and take you on a bit of a journey, and you don't really know where you're going, but you're here for the vibes kind of thing. Having said that, if you're really not into kind of non-linear dreamlike narrative, then this might kind of bore you a little bit, I suppose. But if you're really into beautiful prose, immersive writing, lyrical descriptions, then you will absolutely love this book. Now, next on the list is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I listened to this on audiobook many years ago and absolutely adored it. This book is often described as being like a big warm hug, and I really 100% agree with that. It's so uplifting and emotional. It's the epitome of like a nice cozy read. And if you're in the mood for something that feels like it's got emotional depth whilst also being really whimsical, then you'll really enjoy this. Our protagonist in this book is called Linus Baker, and he is a by-the-book caseworker working in the department in charge of magical youth. He lives in his tiny little house with his cat and just goes about his day and follows the same routine every day. Until one day he is sent on a classified assignment to a mysterious island, and on this island is this orphanage where these dangerous children live. Now, I won't go into it much more than that because I honestly went into this book completely blind and I really enjoyed the experience. But what I will say is that this is a really wholesome, cute, just lovely book. And it has such good characters with brilliant voices, and it's quite funny as well. Like, I remember it making me laugh out loud at many points. I will also say that my experience of listening to this, the audiobook narrator did such a good job of the voices of the characters that I think it really added to the experience, and I think I enjoyed it so much more than I would have done if I'd like read it as a physical book. But obviously that's up to personal taste. I know some people don't enjoy audiobooks, but personally I think sometimes an audiobook can actually be better than reading a physical copy. I also listened to the audiobook of Under the Whispering Door by the same author, and it has the same sort of vibes. These books have a lot of emotional depth. They feel lighthearted, but they also do carry that depth still. I think because there's a lot of comedy in there and the characters are just so cute. The setting's so cozy, and what I love about like sort of the magic and the whimsy in this book is that it feels really playful and warm. And I would also say that even if you don't normally connect to a fantasy sort of book, I still think that you would enjoy this because it's really accessible. So many people love it. Next up is Dallergut Dream Department Store, and this book is the epitome of dreamlike whimsy. Now, clues in the name, it is about a department store that sells dreams to sleeping people. And I just think that's such a fun, creative concept for a book. So this book follows Penny, our main character, who lives in a mysterious town in our collective subconscious. She gets a job one day working at the Dream Department Store, which is her absolute dream job. Now, each night, visitors to the shop, both human and animal, go in to purchase dreams, and we follow Penny, the really enthusiastic new hire at this shop, as she explores the way that the department store works and this magical, whimsical world of dream creation and selling. This book is very much the no plot, just vibes. I can imagine some people might not enjoy this because it literally just feels like every time you pick it up and read it, it feels like you're just visiting this weird shop that exists to sell dreams, and you kind of read different people's dreams. I absolutely loved it. It's so calming and cozy. I would say if you're in a bit of a negative mental space and you're really after a book that's just so healing and calming and is just that really, then I highly recommend this book. It's so whimsical. It's a really creative way of looking at dreams and how they impact people. And although it doesn't have any sort of like dramatic plot, it's got this really lovely, gentle message throughout of the importance of dreams. This is also a duology, and there has been another book that's come out, Return to the Dallergut Dream Department Store, I think it's called, which I really, really want to get. I haven't read it yet, but I really want to get my hands on a copy of that because I absolutely love this one. This is one that I read in the autumn, and this is definitely like full autumn in a book. But I would also say it's good for any time of year when you're just in the mood to read something magical and cozy. Now, this follows a woman who is actually a witch, but she's kind of trying to disguise the fact that she's a witch. She's living a normal life in London, working at a bookshop, and she's about to reach her 30th birthday. So I immediately related to this because this year I will be turning 30 as well, so that's always like fun when you can immediately relate to something that the character's going through. So she works at this London bookshop, she's living a normal life, kind of hiding her magic. She's really burnt out from work. Her work is really stressful, her boss is like not very nice. She gets a summons from her coven. She has to go through this trial that will test whether or not she gets to keep her magic beyond her 30th birthday, or if it gets basically taken away from her. It then follows her as she's trying to reconnect with her magic and basically get through this trial so that she can then keep it. I really, really, really love this book because I feel like it's just cozy and like a witch living in London and working at a bookshop, like living a normal life, but then she's also a witch and doing like magic on the side. It's just, I don't know, it's just cool. There's a little bit of romance in it. I wouldn't say that that really has that much to do with the storyline, but it's a nice kind of little side thing. I was actually really surprised at how much I actually just enjoyed the plot of this book and the plot twists. And yeah, I thought it was going to be more of a romancy type thing, a bit more like the X-Hex or something like that. Really enjoyed this one. It's obviously set in like a modern world, so even though it's like cozy and whimsical and magical, I really enjoyed that like relatable side to it as well. If you're after something that's whimsical and magical, with that bit of fantasy, but then also with that grounding in reality as well, I think you'd really enjoyed this one. The last book I want to talk about, I think is actually really underrated in the book community. We hear a lot of people talk about The Night Circus, which I do think, yes, absolutely brilliant, wonderful book. But not enough people talk about the other book by the same author, which is The Starless Sea. So our protagonist is Zachary Rawlins, and he one day finds this mysterious book and he opens it up, and inside are details about his own life. And as he reads, he ends up going on this journey. He is led by a series of clues to this hidden underground labyrinth of a library. This book is one that if you haven't read it, it's so difficult to describe what it's like to somebody. It twists and turns and weaves all over the place. The plot is so non-linear. You're just taken on this journey that you kind of have no idea where you're going. A lot of the time whilst reading this book, I was like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but I'm enjoying it anyway. The writing is so beautiful. The descriptions are gorgeous. A little warning to you, if you read The Night Circus and you thought, I enjoyed it, but I would have appreciated a little bit more structure, a bit more plot. Don't read this one because it is even more like that. This plot is just crazy. It goes all over the place. Having said that, it is one of my favourite books. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. This labyrinth of books and myths and doors to different worlds. It's just so magical. You kind of have to just surrender to the fact that you have no idea what's going on and just enjoy it anyway. This is definitely one to read just for the experience of getting completely lost in a book and letting it take you on whatever journey it wants to take you on, which personally I think that's what whimsy is all about. And if you're after something that is really escapist, then this is definitely the book for you. So overall, I would say that the common theme in all 5 of these books is that they take you to places, strange, surreal, beautiful, dreamlike places that you would just want to get lost in and just never return from. If you're after something, you really want to escape to a magical world and just leave real life behind, then I highly recommend checking out these books. If you've read any of these, let me know which one's your favourite, and if you didn't like any of them, also let me know. And if you have any whimsical book recommendations, then please leave them in the comments below, because I'm always after books that make me feel magical and enchanted and just take me away from real life. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!